This is vlog 4, I believe. And hopefully I am going to nerd out today. I'm going to tell you about my day, I suppose, but I'm also going to nerd out. My brain is actually so tired because I have been in class for 8 hours today. It was another Tuesday. So yeah, we missed a few days. I don't think I vlogged. I didn't vlog my weekend, obviously, so I've kind of just been vlogging on my drive home from college. But it's Tuesday. Yesterday was Labor Day, so I got that day off. And wow, my brain hurts. I got out of my microbiome class and just did work for about 5 hours. Took an hour break to hang out with my girlfriend or whatever. And then went back to my calculus class. So yeah, that's been good. But in the midst of all this, I did have time to write down. I thought of one more story concept idea that I could write for, and I just typed those up. But a lot of it was just doing my calc homework and everything. But I did make some time for myself. I shut down my website though. I'm a little sad about, just for the time being. It's temporary, but it's like it might be permanent. If I have it set up where I'm still reoccurring payments for certain things every year, so my domain and everything. My domain is but I did shut down the website for 3 months just to save money until I can do it again in the winter time. I actually had time today. I mean, obviously I will have time tonight to work on it if I wanted, but I can't. Well, sad about it. It was something I was passionate about. I think I did it one time 2 years ago, where I started a website and then I obviously shut that down. And it was Illyrios clothing. Didn't have near the technology advantages that I have now. Didn't have the age. I think I was 16 or 17, so I couldn't sign up for a business account on TikTok. I was restricted by a bunch of things. And I had the technology. Didn't really have the knowledge either. And then I got back in, and it was a lot easier sitting on my website and designing it. And I did about 1 million times better this time around. But even then, I'm sure if I started up again, and I don't know if I'll do a full reset when I sign back on my website, and I'd get, for 3 months I'd only pay $1, or if I jump back in and just save the effort and do all that again. And I probably will. I'll probably suck it up and just start off because I really like the way my website going. I am thinking about doing a whole rebranding though. I don't know. I mean, I want to keep it Dravora because I think that's a good name, but Dravora, it does seem very car themed. The website was very heavily designed. Its colors, everything was dedicated around the Night Ride brand itself. It was not dedicated to be open to really anything I want to expand upon. I mean, I have other shirt ideas. I actually have, I don't want it to be dedicated to just car merch unless I started a whole nother website or a whole nother brand dedicated to a different field. I would love to kind of do how American Eagle can diversify their clothing. Now I'll say, I think American Eagle is actually really tightened their grip on the diversity of styles and everything they had. Literally, I know 2 years ago, I remember when I still bought from American Eagle. I mainly thrift. I don't buy new clothing too often, especially not American Eagle. But when I did, I remember thinking, oh man, they got rid of their graphic tees. This is so lame. All they have now is for some reason it was the era of style, and I don't know if they're still doing this, where it's just a plain t-shirt with the American Eagle embroidery in one part of it, and it was that was all they were doing. They weren't doing any other graphic style. I was I'm not buying any of these now, obviously. I mean, I think that now I have a new perspective, and I totally be oh, that's cool, that's nice, or whatever. Still probably want to buy it. It's not my style, but I have one vintage American Eagle t-shirt. It was my dad's from the 1990s or 80s or whatever, and it is Dalmatian. It's just a cool shirt. I'll wear it sometime. And it's they need to go back to stuff like that, where there's put an animal, something like that. I think that's a cool objective to it, to have that where I can post. So I have one of my favorite shirts, also my dad's clothing. My dad is not this dripped out. He just so happened to have some barn find-esque types of clothing that I find incredible. He always works in his vintage crew necks, so they're all torn to high crap and they're all mangled, but they were really cool at some point. He had this one panda one that was called, it had endangered on it, and it listed out this, and it was incredible. It was the coolest crew neck ever. And so for my birthday, he actually hunted down one that was for sale and bought it for me. that, like, it was from like 1980s, I believe. But I rarely want to wear it. Like, I don't want to damage it, but I want to make a t-shirt like that. Like, that style is so incredibly cool, and it gives off this really just faded, worn. Like, mine always looks really good because it's faded and worn, and it's giving off the whole esque of vintage. But like remaking a t-shirt like that is a dope crew neck. And it fits the vintage style that a lot of people go for now. Night Ride itself, that brand was like just streetwear. I would say more than anything, I was withheld by my print-on-demand service. It, like, the back, I wanted a bigger graphic for the back, and I should have gone with a bigger TG something. There's something TG something printing that gave me a bigger back on it, and I was withheld, and it made the logo and the whole brand not look as good. I don't know if I could figure that out, or if I could go with a different company than Printful, but Printful just really met all my other needs. So it's just unfortunate that they're back printing, unless I emailed some people about it. I emailed this lady who did her own company I found on YouTube and everything. She's really small too, but I emailed her asking about it, and she's like, yeah, I paid for the Printful Premium and just got a larger printing space for some reason. And it's like, so maybe I should look into that and see because if so, that would make it more worth it. And it's just like, I'm trying to cut costs as much as possible, but then when is cutting costs going to sacrifice for the quality of what goal I'm trying to reach? I would love to make money from this. And if I was guaranteed, because I ended up listing, I never ended up advertising my company. If I was guaranteed that I would turn a profit, which is absurd, you know, business is all about risk. You're going to create 1,000 businesses, and every single one of them is going to fail before you hit the nail on the head. You know, you have to be very lucky, and quite frankly, it's actually unlucky to be successful and make a bunch of money off your first business, because, you know, you need those mistakes and then see what to do right the next time. And if you just somehow got lucky the first time, you could have your $1 million idea, but without proper execution, you could really lose the attention that it once had. So it's kind of nice. So, and that's kind of what Javor Apparel is. It's like, I don't know. So I would love to come back to it and sacrifice more money, and it's like, obviously money's an issue. I'm just a cheapskate and a fool at the end of the day. Like, I have the means, I have the ability to pay the price for the advertising and everything. It's just kind of like, I don't want to spend $300 on 30,000 views or whatever TikTok offers. TikTok was kind of tight about their advertising for how much you pay, so I don't know. But yeah. Anyhow, back on that. What was I even saying? Okay, so now here's my ADHD moment, my time to delve into something, because I'm just going to step away from that whole matter. My brain's going to work hard in a different area. Time to delve into it. Fractals is crazy. So I think, honestly, and this is what I'm going to probably title the video, is something to do with infinity. As infinity is all around us. As much as it's kind of like a weird premise to think about, it's like everything. We're learning about it in math, and it's like, to preface, if everyone knows what a fractal is, there's something you're going to learn in math where, and I'll use the example that I've heard. Let's say you are tasked to build a fence, or no, you're tasked to build like a fence, like an enclosed fencing area for your animals, but you have to use infinite amount of fencing. My girlfriend called me and made me pause my conversation about fractals. So fractals, and now I'm parked because it's been about 15 minutes. Fractals, obviously, as I was saying, it's like a way if a farmer said, you need to build me an enclosed structure, but with infinite fencing. So it'd be, okay, let's make a weird design. And, you know, you're going to have to look them up if you actually care. Just like a design, you know, a star or something. Or a bang sign, like how in the old comic books they'd say bang, and it'd like around the word. Well, you zoom up on the edges, and as you get closer, more edges form infinitely. So as you keep on zooming, it just makes more and more ridges infinitely, and you never can stop. And that's what a fractal is. Well, I would say fractals are like everywhere. I mean, everywhere down to atoms. down to atoms or the smallest, you know, substance that the earth is made out of. I always like to say, like look at a number. You look at a knife. This is one thing, I don't know if other people thought about this. A knife, like at some point at the end of the tip, it's round. You know, it can never be perfectly this. You know, never perfectly. You know, zoom in and imagine like a corner, or imagine an edge piece, you know, the edge of a table. And you zoom in, and you get closer, and you get closer, and you see, and it's like, it can never be perfectly one edge to another. At some point, as you zoom in, you have to realize that it's round at the tip. Because that's we just can't imagine. At some point, it has to be rounded at the tip. It can't be perfectly square to square like this. I wish my nails were long enough, but I trimmed them recently. Like that. Like, it just can't. It doesn't work like that. So at the very end, I guess the final one would be, you know, you zoom into a table, and at the very end, as you zoom in, there's like just one round atom. So atoms all lined along that make it round. But then makes you think, like, yeah, like that at the end of the day, like, down to an atom, everything has to be eventually round. There can never be a perfect, and that's just like infinity in general. Just think of like everything's in infinity. Like you look at grass, just the blades of grass, like that's eventually rounded at the tip, or it's, you know, I don't know, you just zoom in, everything becomes infinite. If you were to tell me how many points are in between from point zero, or from on a line, you know, like this, from here, which is 0 to the 1 on the x-axis, and you tell me how many points are inside this, you'd say, oh, well, there's point 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, down to 1.9, down to 2. But then you think, in between 1.1 and 1.0, or wait, I totally did that wrong. I'm going to say 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, whatever. Down from 0 to 0.1, in between that, there's 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, and it just keeps on going. And infinitely, you delve into that, where in between 0 and 0.01, there's 0.001, just infinitely. So everything is infinite, and it's weird because everything is infinite. Down from back, you know, life is literally like this axis, you know, from one side to the other. It's going to go on infinitely. Time's going to go on infinitely, and time came from infinity. At the end of the day, you know, if you believe in the Big Bang, or you believe in God, you know, came from no time or whatever. You know, God's always been here, so that's like infinity that way, you know, and infinity this way. Same with the Big Bang. At some point, there is some material that's always been here that started that Big Bang. Time didn't start from the Big Bang or whatever, you know, that just doesn't make sense. You know, something always had to be here. So honestly, infinity truly does apply with the concept of something's always been there. Something's always been in the frame of time. Something always will be. Nothing, unless it just converts back into nothing. And nothing doesn't exist, because if nothing exists, that means something exists, and that something is nothing. Boy, and I just got out of my calculus class, and you thought, oh, he's not going to think anymore today. And then I just went down my little rabbit hole. So yeah, and everything's infinity. I think, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? I'm tired, guys. I just want to go home, and I am home. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.